Hello students, welcome to this rapid revision session on biology for NEET examination. You are watching Biology TV and myself Vishwanath. Today, let's discuss about the second part of environmental issues, that is about water pollution and solid waste management. Before that, if you like this video, please do subscribe and share with your friends. For notes and other study material, please log on to my Telegram channel and the link is given in description. And please don't forget to click the bell icon for updates of my new videos. So let's begin our discussion. First we'll go with water pollution. So water pollution, I have divided the water pollution into the three steps. First one is the sources, next one is effects, and next one is control measures. Okay, first sources. Here also I have selected some of the important points and I have mentioned here. So the points which are more possibility of asking in the exam have been mentioned here. So first one is industries. So how the industries are causing water pollution? Here the first one is thermal pollution. So thermal pollution is the industries use lots of water, and usually they use water in the higher temperatures and they release the water into the outside rivers or lakes in by same temperature, so that the water temperature increases. It becomes very problematic for the organisms growing in that area. Why? Because they can't sustain the very high temperatures. So this is one of the reason, that is thermal pollution causing by the industries. Next is oils released to the surrounding waters. This is also one of the pollution caused by the industries to the surrounding waters. That is due to the oils, the decaying of the fishes and shellfishes takes place. This process is called as tinting. Please understand what tainting is. Tainting is a process where the fishes and other shell organisms, they undergo decay due to the presence of oil in the water. This process is called as tainting. Next one is in the Gulf of Mexico, in the year 2010, there was an accidental oil spill which polluted almost all very large area in the Gulf of Mexico. That is BP oil spill. It was happened in 2010. Next, chemicals and heavy metal pollution. So industries, along with their waste, they contain very heavy metals and also some of the hazardous chemicals. So they are entering into the water. So this is causing this is one of the source. Next one is sewage. Sewage is nothing but all the municipal waste or the liquid waste generated within the urban cities. So these are the major two sources for water pollution. One is industries. Within industries, thermal pollution, oil spills, and chemical and heavy metal pollution. And next one is sewage. So this is about the sources. Next is effects. So what are the effects of water pollution? So first one is algal blooms. What happens is, in algal blooms, water which is rich in the nutrients, so all the microorganisms start to grow and they occupy almost all the water body. They will not allow other organisms to grow. This is known as algal blooms. You might have seen a water where the water is completely green, and on the surface there will be number of algae will be floating on that surface. That is nothing but algal blooms. And the next stage of algal bloom is nothing but eutrophication. As the algal blooms, algae keep on growing and they utilize all the essential nutrients present within that area. They will not allow sunlight and other like oxygen for other organisms to grow. They will not allow, first of all, they will not allow the sunlight to pass through it. And second one is the oxygen which is released as the result of this photosynthesis. So there the oxygen is again taken up by these organisms only. They will the oxygen becomes very limited for other organisms to survive. So this is completely occupied by this algae, and they will not allow other rooted organisms or rooted plants to grow. So other organisms will die. All the other fishes and aquatic animals will die. So in future days it will be converted into a complete land. Water body is completely converted into a land. This is nothing but eutrophication, or it is also called as accelerated eutrophication or cultural eutrophication. Okay, please remember the word eutrophication, accelerated eutrophication, or culture eutrophication. Okay, next one is biological oxygen demand. Biological oxygen demand is nothing but the amount of oxygen required by the microorganisms to decompose the waste present within the water. So for example, if there is a area, or if there is a water body, if lots of pollutants are there within this water, lots of pollutants are there, then it is said that the BOD is more. In this region, the BOD, biological oxygen demand, is more. When biological BOD value is more, then it is, when the BOD value is more, it is said that the water is very much polluted. So these organisms, microorganisms, they undergo, they take up the action of decomposition, so they will neutralize this all the waste. So when the pollutants decreases, biological oxygen demand decreases, and when the biological oxygen demand decreases, dissolved oxygen increases. So this is vice versa. Whenever if biological oxygen demand is more, means the pollutants are more. When the microorganisms take up the action of decomposition, they start to decompose, and finally they make zero. All the pollutants, they undergo decomposition, then the pollutants decreases, so dissolved oxygen increases. So whenever the biological oxygen demand is less, means water is more pure, dissolved oxygen is more. Whenever the biological oxygen demand, BOD, is more, or biological oxygen demand is more, it means the water is highly polluted. There the dissolved oxygen is very less. Usually the BOD of drinking water is less than 1. Biological oxygen demand of water is less than 1, whereas BOD of sewage water is 200 to 400 milligrams of oxygen per liter of water. What we consume will be less than 1, but whereas the sewage is about 200 to 400 grams of oxygen per liter of water. This is about the biological oxygen demand. Next one is biomagnification. It is nothing but accumulation of pollutants within the tissues in an increasing order in the food chain. This is called as biomagnification. What happens is, suppose DDT, it is one of the pesticide used by the used in the agricultural field. So it is sprayed, or it is sprinkled on the soil. Whenever it is sprinkled on the soil, it gets accumulated within the soil. So it is it is entering into the food chain. See, initially it will be of just 0.003 parts per million. So next it will be taken up by the plankton. So it gets shifted. When it gets shifted, there it will be converted into 0.04 parts per million. It was 0.003 parts per million. Next it accumulated in the tissues of zooplanktons, and it became 0.04 parts per million. Then again, when these small fishes eat zooplanktons, then again this get accumulated, and their value increases. So in the small fishes, it is 0.5 parts per million. When small fishes is eaten by large fishes, it is again transferred into the large fish, in the tissues of large fish. So it has become 2 parts per million. And again, next one is when large birds, when eats this small fishes or large fishes, then again they get the pollutants get accumulated in the tissues of this organisms or this bird. So this will be of 25 parts per million. So here I have given just an example how this pollutants gets accumulated within the tissues of organs. Okay, tissues of different organisms within the food chain. This is nothing but biomagnification, accumulation of pollutants within the tissues in an increasing order in a specific food chain, is known as biomagnification. There are many effects, but I have selected very important effects which have mentioned in our textbooks, in our NCERT books, and I have mentioned here. First one is algal blooms. Next one is eutrophication or accelerated eutrophication or cultural eutrophication. Next one is biological oxygen demand, and next one is biomagnification. So these are some of the effects. Next one is control measures. So there are many general control measures, but the very important one which I mentioned in our books are sewage treatment. So before leaving the sewage water into the water body, into the pure water bodies, what they'll do is they can be treated. First one is primary treatment, next one is secondary treatment, next is tertiary treatment. In primary treatment, what happens? The large waste products, which waste materials which are present within the water bodies, they are hand picked and they are thrown out, like stone or plastics or something like that. Next one is secondary treatment. In secondary treatment, what happens? In the secondary treatment, so the primary treated water is allowed to allowed to grow microbes. So these microbes undergo decomposition process. So it is again some of the waste is reduced. Next is tertiary treatment. In tertiary treatment is what happened is some of the chemicals is added. When the chemicals is added, they undergo oxidation. So almost all, nearly 90 to 95% of the pollutants are reduced, and then they are left into the water bodies. So this is about the sewage treatment, primary treatment, secondary treatment, and tertiary treatment. This is about effluent. This is called as effluent treatment plants. Okay. Next one is ecosun or ecological sanitization. So it is seen in trains. This technology is used in trains, and what happens is this is a sustainable system of handling human excreta using dry composting toilet. Okay, here what happens is this excreta which is collected, this is converted into a natural fertilizers, and which is used through several steps. This is about the ecosun. Okay, these are some of the control measures of water pollution. And next one is, we shall go with solid waste. So we can solid waste and its management. So the solid waste can be divided into can be classified into three parts. First one is biodegradable waste, so which undergoes degradation. That one is also called as temporary waste. Next one is non biodegradable waste, which cannot be undergo degradation. So such waste is called as non biodegradable waste, and they are called as permanent waste. Why? Because they are going to remain permanent within the environment. Example is plastic. Next one is recyclable waste, which can be recycled. So this is the classification of solid waste. Next, this solid waste can be studied under two headings, under three headings. First one is sources, and another one is disposal of solid waste and effective waste management. Usually the main sources of solid waste is municipal solid waste, that is generating within the urban areas. Next one is industries, next one is agriculture, and next one is e-waste. E-waste is the maximum number of waste which is accumulated, solid waste which is accumulating in this generation. And next one is disposal of solid waste, how it is usually disposed, how it is released into the environment. So some of the waste is undergoing natural composting with the help of microorganisms. So they undergo decomposition and it is released into the environment. So here only the organic matter is undergoing into this step. Next one is vermicompost. Here also some of the organic waste which is generated, that is treated by the earthworms. So this is converting into a compost. It can be utilized as fertilizers. And next one is sanitary landfills or dumping yards. This is the traditional way of disposing the waste. That is one particular area is selected outside in outskirts of the cities. There everything is dumped, and there it is sorted out, and then it is disposed. Then next one is combustion or incineration. So here what happens is all the e-waste which is collected, it is dumped in a small landfills or a large landfills, and it is closed. It is closed with by putting a soil, and it is heated in very high temperatures. So what happens is here the waste is allowed to undergo in a very high temperature. So it gets all the waste materials undergo all the waste material gets burned, and here the solid waste is disposed. This is one of the way. And next one is export of the e-waste. So e-waste is exported to other countries, so it is again reused. This is about the disposal of solid waste. Next one is effective waste management, how we can effectively manage the solid waste which is generating within the cities. First is this is mainly by reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce the usage of things, try to reuse the things before disposing into the environment. And next one is after disposing, if anything can be recycled, then such can be taken and recycled and again reused. This is the effective waste management. This is about water pollution and solid waste management.